Well, just first of all, just to say how stunned I am to see how many of you have come out on a wet Friday evening. So first of all, a huge thank you for that. And just to say, all that I'm hearing about what's going on here in Hastings is just so exciting. And I think you've got obviously two amazing candidates in Julia and Andrea, and you can do it. And that is just so exciting that you are really close. And that we know that if we can just speak to enough people between now and next Thursday, then we really could get the first Greens on Hastings Council, which I just think is so exciting. So I guess all I want to say to you is that I know by definition the people here are people that have already been slogging for days and weeks and months, so it feels very cheeky to come along and just say, could you just do a bit more please? But when the end is in sight, when you know that your sleeplessness or your lack of time for family, friends, pets, garden, has been neglected, then if it could just go on being neglected just for another 5 days, 6 days, that could get us over the line, because you'll know as well as I do just how urgent our message is, and everything I've been hearing about the local council here just underlines what's all over your leaflets, which is that it is time for an effective, inspired opposition. It is time for the Green Party to shake up this council, to really get some new thinking in there, to hold the feet to the fire of the Labour councillors in particular, who I think it sounds have become pretty complacent over time, and to really be on the side of the residents, because it strikes me that I was looking through all of the key issues that you're fighting around. So, for example, the proposed development out at Rock'n'Aws, or about genuinely affordable housing, or about community energy, or about safer streets. All of these things I think are really resonant with people now. I think they're issues that people really care about. But what struck me was not just the issues that you're fighting on, but also the way you're doing it. I think the more that we can communicate to people that for us, politics isn't something that you do to someone, it's something that you do alongside and with people. And it just strikes me in all of the materials that I've seen coming from your campaign, it's all about community empowerment. It's about how we get the voices of residents to be properly heard, so that they can influence the actions of this council. And I think that's just such a refreshing approach to politics, that genuine bottom-up approach to politics, where we're listening to people, we're taking their views into account and really being their voices and their advocates on the council, but working with them, not over the top of them, if you like. So that just feels to me to be an important message, if we can get that across as well, that by voting Green, you're voting for a different style of politics as well as for a different set of policies. And I think as well that we've got a lot to say about the fact that when Greens elected, we work bloody hard. And one of the reasons I think we do that, I mean, partly we do it because obviously we're in the Green Party because we're passionate about it. We haven't chosen the Green Party as a shortcut to fame and fortune. It's a choice there. But no, we've done it because we absolutely believe in it passionately. So you get people who will be Green councillors who are utterly committed to the Green cause. And that we also recognise that there isn't yet a tradition whereby people vote Green because their grandparents did or their grandparents did. Each and every person who votes Green is voting Green because we have persuaded them, we have made the argument, we have earned that vote. But by definition that also means that we know that we can't take those people for granted in the future, nor should we. But I think the Greens are the least likely to take constituents, residents for granted in the future, because we know that we have to go back to them, deserve their vote, ask for it again on the basis of our track record, not on the basis of some kind of family tradition. And I think that keeps us on our toes, and I think that means that we deliver so much more for constituents, for residents, because we absolutely are on their side, and that's why we're there. And just to say one last thing about the days now, the very few days now between today and election day. And some of you will want to do the leafleting, some of you might not be quite so happy to be on the doorsteps canvassing. And I just wanted to say a word about canvassing, because I think sometimes that word canvassing can sound a bit scary. It sounds like it's some kind of technical thing you need a degree in before you can go and do whatever it is. And sometimes people feel worried that perhaps they don't know enough about the Green Party manifesto to be able to answer all of the finer points of our policies. And I just wanted to say two things really. The first is the number of times you get asked about policy can be counted on the hand of, well, it's one hand, and it's very, very rare that you get asked about policy. But if you do, and if you don't know the answer, that is absolutely brilliant, because what it means is that you can legitimately ask the person on the doorstep for their data. You can ask them for their telephone number and their email, which, as you will know, in an election is actually you've got that off them, and you've had a very good reason to ask them. And then, what's more, if you then go away and find out the answer to the question that they've asked you, and you go back to them and tell them, they are so gobsmacked that a politician has done what they said they were going to do, that even if they don't agree with the answer, they'll be so delighted that someone has actually followed through on a pledge that they have made, that you'll have them in the bag. So lack of knowledge is no excuse for not canvassing, so you're going to have to come up with something else. Don't come up with something else. Just if you can have the courage to go, because that's what changes people's minds. It's conversations. It's simply saying, I'm on your doorstep on a wet Friday because I'm really passionate about these issues, and I want to tell you why I really care about them, and more to the point, I want to listen about the issues that you're interested in, and so we can have a conversation. And I think if we think of it like that, it feels an awful lot less scary. So if we encourage any more people who haven't perhaps done the doorstep stuff to potentially give that a try, because particularly if you do it alongside someone, or if there's someone somewhere else in the street, it's not scary, and it is the thing that we know makes the real difference. That is what can change people's minds, because as soon as you have that conversation and basically say, particularly in this ward I guess, you know, one more Labour councillor will make absolutely no difference. And you can put that as politely as you like. But, it really will make no difference. Whereas the first Green councillors will shake this council up. They will be more than their weight in ones or twos. They will be, you know, the impact that they will have will be absolutely transformatory. And we know that, and we see it in other councils. And I think that's just such a strong message to say that these one-party states are not good for democracy, they're not good for residents, they lead to a sense of complacency. You need people in there who will ask the difficult ask the difficult questions, challenge decisions that are made, and basically make sure they're on the side of residents. So that's the end of my pep talk, but thank you so much for being here. I think the rain has kept off, which is important. So it would be lovely if we can all get out and just see if we can garner a few more of those votes, because I know how awful it will be to vote, to wake up on Friday or whenever the votes are counted. Are they counted Thursday night? No,
Friday morning.
Okay, so to come round after you've been very busy and to wake up on Friday afternoon and realise that you might have missed it by a few votes, you will not forgive yourselves. And we all know where you live, so we can come around. So please do, if you can, just give that last ounce between now and next Thursday. It would just be so hugely appreciated. And if we can get over the line, if we can deliver councillors here, I just think it would just be the most brilliant message, both for the local council, but also for the South East generally.
Great.
Great.